Hello Year 3. Today we are looking at the 5 main types of food in our diet. So we will initially look at what they are, and then after that I will talk you through what each of them do. So the first one we're going to look at today is carbohydrates. I'm sure you'll recognise lots of the food there as well. There are also dairy products, protein, fruit and vegetables, and sugars and fats. So now we're going to have a closer look and see what they do for us. Come on, computer. There we go. Oh, we've skipped one. There we go. Sorry. Surprise has just been spoiled for what comes after carbohydrates. So carbohydrates, we've got all those wonderful foods like bread and pasta and rice and potatoes. And these are all really starchy foods and they keep us feeling full. Carbohydrates give us energy, but it's slow release energy and they keep us going for a longer amount of time. So they're really important for our diet. It's a good idea to have carbohydrates like toast or cereal for breakfast because then they keep us going until break time and we can have a snack or lunchtime. And then we don't feel hungry in that time as well, and we're really ready to learn. There we go. Okay, so fruit and vegetables. Now, you've been told since you were probably born that fruit and vegetables are really important for you to eat, and you need to make sure you try and eat a variety of different colours. And isn't that picture just beautiful? Almost looks like a bouquet, doesn't it? So there is a minimum number of portions that you should try and eat in a day to be healthy. Have a bit of a think. Show your fingers on your adult to how many you think it is in a day. Surprise, it is 5. So, our government advised that we should have a minimum of 5 portions of fruit and veg in our diet every day. That's the same for children and adults. And however, sometimes we really should be eating more. So scientific experts and experts in other countries do advise that they eat more fruit and vegetables than the minimum of our 5. It can go up to 9, I believe. But why do we eat them? So we eat them because fruit and veg are packed full of vitamins that keep us going, they keep away colds and illness, and they also contain fibre. So what is fibre? Those of you who already know, I bet, are giggling because you know what's about to come next. So let's have a look. What is fibre? So fibre is a plant material and it goes straight through our bodies from our mouth when we eat it, straight out the other end. If you don't have fibre in your diet, you can't poo, and nobody wants that to happen. So if you want to be able to poo, you need to eat fruit and veg. Nobody likes being constipated. Dairy foods. So these are made from milk and they can include cheese, yogurt, and cream. They give us a really good mineral called calcium, which keep our bones and teeth strong. Some people can't eat dairy, they can't digest it, so it might be because they're allergic to it or because they have an intolerance. But there are lots of fabulous alternatives these days, such as soy milk or rice milk or almond milk, where people can get their calcium content from. Some dairy, like cheese and cream, have lots of fat in them, so we will be talking about fat a bit closer in a minute. It's really important that we have the calcium from dairy because it makes our bones strong and our teeth strong, and we have those fruit and vegetables because we get those vitamins as well, which keep us healthy and well. So protein rich foods. These are your fish, meat, eggs, nuts, beans, chickpeas, lentils, all of those fabulous things in that picture. They are really important in our diet because they help us grow and repair if we hurt ourselves. Athletes eat lots of protein because they are constantly trying to build up muscle to make themselves better and faster than what they previously were. So, if you completed your science last week, you'll already know what the recommended daily intake of sugar is in teaspoons for a child. See if you can remember and show your adult on your hands. Let's have a peek. So, for children, it is 6 teaspoons a day, and for an adult, it is 7. So, I only get 1 extra teaspoon a day of sugar. If you have sugar in your tea and you have 2 cups of tea, well, maybe 3 cups of tea in a day, probably you won't, but maybe your adult might, that's nearly half of their allotted sugar that they're allowed to have in a day, just in cups of tea. So it's really important we think about our sugar content. But why is that? So too much sugar is not good for us. We do have to eat it, but too much is not good for us. It causes tooth decay. That means your teeth are rotting. Nobody wants to just be gums. Everybody likes to be able to eat food that is solid, apart from babies. So we need to make sure that our teeth do not rot away. You have to brush your teeth twice a day thoroughly. It gives us a quick, short burst of energy, and then we feel a bit rubbish afterwards. We feel a bit flat. We want that slow release energy that we get from carbohydrates that keeps us going for a long amount of time. If we don't burn it off through exercise, it's stored as fat and we can become overweight, and then this leads to other diseases such as diabetes or heart disease. We need to think really carefully about what we eat and what we snack on. If it's a sugary snack, it's probably worth swapping it out for some vegetables, maybe some carrot sticks, they're really sweet, or maybe some tomatoes, again, they're really sweet. So you'd be better off eating some sweet veg rather than eating sweeties, because the veg are less likely to rot those teeth away. You do still need to brush your teeth though. So let's look a bit more closely at fat. What about fats? Fats are found from animal products and from plants. So even if you're a vegetarian or a vegan, you don't get away with not consuming fat. You can find it in meat and dairy products, like we said earlier, like cream and butter. And ice cream is full of fat. So we should only eat it in small quantities, because again, too much, if you don't burn it off through exercise, you will end up becoming overweight, and you will have those problems again, those health problems again, such as heart disease or diabetes. So, a balanced diet. What is a balanced diet? A balanced diet is made up of carbohydrates, fruit and vegetables, proteins, dairy, and that little bit of sugar and fat. But as you can see from this picture here, it is split up into 3. So if you imagine this to be a plate, think of it split into thirds. A third of it should be carbohydrates, a third should be fruit and veg, and then the final third should be split between those proteins, dairy, and then the small bit should be sugars and fats. That is what a balanced meal is. Obviously, you will not have all of that food on one plate, because that would definitely be overeating. So now I'm going to show you the Eat Well plate. It's split up in the exact same way as the previous plate I showed you, but it gives you slightly a better idea about what the task is for today. I would like you to design a meal that includes a balanced diet. So on a plate, you would have a third of it would be fruit and veg, a third of it would be, what is that? Sorry. A third of it would be carbohydrates, and then the final third will be meat and fish, dairy and dairy products, and then fat and sugars as well. So that final third will be split up into 3. You can do this in a variety of different ways. You could Write a list of the ingredients that you would include on your Eat Well plate. You could draw it for me and cut you some colour. You could paint it. You could model it using maybe Play-Doh or something like that to show me what food you would have in your balanced meal. Or you can actually make it with food, showing me a balanced meal. I'm really looking forward to seeing your ideas because my cooking has gone a bit lackluster at the moment and I'd love some new ideas for cooking. So good luck. Please send your picture through to your class teacher and enjoy.